Hey y'all, it's Mr. T-Rex here. Just going to talk to you about lesson 2. So for lesson 2, of course, you're doing your mental math, you're doing your problem solving. The new concept here, um, multiplying whole numbers and money. Well, we'll see exactly what they're doing with that. When we add the same number several times, we get a sum, okay? You get the same result by multiplying, okay? They're just trying to break down 15 plus 15 plus 15 equals 60. 15 times 4 is also 60. Multiplication is just addition faster. That's the real trick here. And all that you're doing is you're speeding things up, so you don't have to write down 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15. When we get into exponents is just going to be multiplication faster. Okay, math has kind of a set thing that it follows. But right now, two numbers that multiply together are factors, and the answer is called the product. So the sum of these numbers is 60. The product of these two numbers is 60. Okay. You can use multiplication symbol. You can use a dot. You can touch them. Okay. Numbers and letters. Okay. Are a lot like rabbits. When they get together, they multiply. Okay, little thing to remember there. Notice that in the form L times W, the multiplication dot is elevated and is not in the position of a decimal point. Okay, very different. It's right in the middle. It's not a decimal point. All of these are different ways to multiply. Sometimes you'll do things called a partial product when we break things down, and what that does is it allows us to, because remember, all we're doing with our multiplication is just addition, right? So what we could write 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15 as 10 times 4, or 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, as well as 5 times 4, or 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Okay, that's the same thing, right? All this together is the same thing here. Okay, either way, that gets us 40, that gets us 20, that's our 60, right? So when we are doing things, and the reason why that's helpful is when we do things like 28 times 14, I don't know that off the top of my head, right? That's a little harder. However, I do know that 10 times 28 is going to be 280, okay? And then I can do the math for myself, and I know it's 10 times 280 because all you're doing is adding a 0 when it's 10 times. So here, 4 times 8, I do know that, that's 32. 4 times 2 is 8, is also 8, or is 8. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 1, 2. Okay, now you just add them together. 2, 9, 3. That's our answer. Okay. Really, that's the main thing to know. The other thing to know is if you multiply something by 1, you get its number again. It doesn't come up too often, just like that 0 thing for addition. Zero property of multiplication is important. If you multiply any number at all by a 0, you're going to get 0. Okay? A number times 0 is always 0. 0 times any number is 0. Okay? Because if you go back to our addition, right? So 14 times 1 is the same as saying 14 plus nothing, right? It's just 14. So that's my answer. But if I have 14 times 0, it's asking how many 14s do I have. But if I were to write it out, it would just be nothing. There's no 14s there. There's 1, right? 14 times 2 turns into 14 plus 14, right? 14 times 3 is 14 plus 14 plus 14. Okay? So this one is just 0. It's nothing. Dividend, divisor, and quotient are sometimes used if we're talking about vocabulary that's useful. These ones are definitely more useful than the subtrend and addend. Long division is usually what we do. Very rarely are we really doing short division. Short division is just a way of kind of like smushing it all in there, really. Okay, it's the same stuff. You're just kind of finagling it. It's more of a pain, in my opinion. I think this is better. Long division is clearer. It's easier. But they both work. There's other forms you may have learned. If you've learned a different type, let me know. Because there's some ways which we break this apart even further, where we do 7 times 3,000, 7 times 400, 7 times, or divided by, sorry, not times, and break that up into smaller bits. All right, that's the main real takeaways. I'll do the written practice in a separate video, but I think you guys got it. Just remember that just like the addition, 5 times 6 is 30, 6 times 5 is 30. Addition and multiplication, as long as they're completely the same, can be in any order. Division and subtraction have to be in specific orders, right? The 30 divided by 5 is 6, 30 divided by 6 is 5, okay? But you can't do 5 divided by 30. It's a totally different number, okay? All right, that is what I got for you guys for that. So I'll throw an edition of the written practice here in a second.